There are a couple of issues. One about women not driving. This is absolutely so ludicrous coming out of Islam. There's no way this is Islamic. This is something, men's rules, literally men's rules. And how do we know this? Prophet Muhammad's beloved wife Khadija, that the Imam referred to, was the owner of the caravan company. Now let's get real here. Let's just get real. So we know it's not coming from his tradition, and yet Muslims are to follow his example of how he applied the Quran in his life. So, and his daughter his wife Aisha was a leader in battle. Do you think that she did that on foot? You know? Okay, so let's just take it from there. And one of the other interesting things that happened, many people have probably seen the picture of the Kaaba where Muslims go for their Hajj, for the big pilgrimage. There's a black box, the black cube called the Kaaba. And there was a proposal at one time, just a couple of years ago, that women not be allowed to do their Hajj, their pilgrimage, from the main floor. And it was a matter of hours before this was international. You know, this was a rumor that had some basis in fact. And again, it was in a matter of hours before the Saudi government said, no, 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 no. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had men and women on the floor, you know, walking around doing their pilgrimage, and it will always be allowed to be so. So, you know, there are times when people try to bring in human rules. God's rules are the ones that we try to follow.
The burqa is a mandated form of dress by the Saudi government, but an Islamic form of dress is very versatile. And so as you look at women from Africa, women from Indonesia and India, even, you know, American women, Muslim women, we all have different styles of dressing. But modesty is the key to the dress, is that you can show your hands and your face, but otherwise you should wear loose-fitting pants or skirts, long sleeves, and different types of headscarves depending on the style of that region of the world. So there isn't one form.
There isn't one.
There is not one form, yeah.
I often use the word, we should stick to religion and not tradition. There is many, I mean, where do the people come up with the inspiration to say women cannot drive? The interpretation sometimes of an ancient text, or an interpretation, literal interpretation of what the Prophet, peace be upon him, have actually said. Now, the Prophet, peace be upon him, would mandate that a woman cannot go from one place to another by herself or ride a camel, simply because it was not safe to go from, 1400 years ago, from point A to point B without being robbed on the way, without being killed, without,
there weren't any police.
There was no police.
No police force.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your family was your protector.
Protection, wild animals, you name it. And then the spirit behind this tradition is a protection for men and women, basically. So people would take that very literally, as the Prophet prohibited women for riding a camel, whereas now the cars probably, with OnStar and GPS system and so on and so forth is much safer than it was a long time ago. So people sometimes would take that very literally. At the same time, to be fair, to Saudi Arabia, many people say women in Saudi Arabia are not allowed to drive, which is very un-Islamic. We understand that, but 80% of them have chauffeurs. So just get the facts there. Does not make it feel better, but at the same time, there is that notion that there is that protection for women just in case something happened.